Hi, this is Boris. Welcome to Movie Messenger.
Ouais, tomaté ou merde?
With the release of Sleepless, which is a remake of a French movie called Nuit Blanche, this time I wanted to talk about movie remakes. By the way, after watching 1950's The Thing from Another World, I realized that John Carpenter's The Thing, which is known as one of the best remakes in cinema history, is actually a readaptation of the original short story Who Goes There by John W. Campbell. So for me, it's more of a retelling than a remake of the original movie. Already we are faced with our first challenge, defining remakes. I want to define remakes by differentiating them from reboots, because they are very close in nature. So, what is the difference between a remake and a reboot? After doing some reading and from my own perspective, I arrived to the following conclusions. A remake relies heavily on an existing film, remade for the current audience. The main characters are usually the same as in the original movie. This can also be a foreign film remade to suit the taste of the local audience, like a Korean movie remade for the American audience, for example. A reboot, however, is based mostly on the concept and characters established in the world built previously in another movie, and create a new movie or a series of movies with new storylines, additional characters. The same characters are also reinterpreted, like James Bond rebooted with Daniel Craig in Casino Royale. For remakes, the plot might remain the same, as the idea here is to honor the original. But some elements in the story might be added because the creative team considered that certain elements didn't age well or isn't culturally valid. For reboots, the basic concept is kept, but the plot and storyline can be totally different, while keeping certain key recognizable elements from the original material as fan service. And this might be the major difference. A remake refers to usually a single movie, but the reboot can be a reimagination of an entire series of movies or an entire universe, like the ones based on comic books. Now that the overly confident Peter Parker Andrew Garfield is gone, it's time for the geeky, awkward Peter Parker Tom Holland to be Spider-Man in movies.
Oh, that was awesome!
And speaking of, with the success of Deadpool being the highest grossing R-rated film of all time, and Logan being R-rated, if there is a comic book character which needs to be rebooted, that's Howard the Duck. No, Spawn. Thanks, Todd McFarlane. Now, when it came to recommending this movie, I was faced with a dilemma. No, not if you should make remakes or not, but should one watch the original or the remake first? Let's just say, for the sake of argument, that you know that the movie is a remake of another film and that you have the time and means to watch the original. Because I just found out that True Lies was a remake of a French film called La Totale. Option 1. Let's say you watched the remake first and you didn't like it. You will be less tempted to watch the original, but the original can be awesome. Option 2. Now let's say you watched the original first, but you don't want to watch the remake now, because you don't want to ruin the impact the original had on you. For example, I watched The Departed knowing that it was a remake, but I watched The Departed first before watching the original Infernal Affairs. And they were totally two different animals and I enjoyed them both. Let me think. I'll give you my opinion at the end. I watched Nuit Blanche, which has been remade in Tamil in Indian cinema, starring Kamal Hassan, and it is also remade in English as Sleepless with Jamie Foxx. I have one word to describe the movie Nuit Blanche: intensity, in all its shape and form. Intensity which the remake of the film in Tamil didn't translate well. Don't get me wrong, the actors' performances were good, but they tried to incorporate elements which ended up being funny at times and took you out of the movie. In the original version, you feel the same frustration as the character, and the tone is consistent throughout the movie. Nuit Blanche is directed by Frédéric Chardin. Nuit Blanche stars Lizzie Brocheret as Vignali, Thomas Sisley as Vincent, Sami Seguir as Thomas, Serge Khayaboukin as José Marciano, Julien Boslier as Lacombe, Joey Starr as Fedek, Laurent Stocker as Manuel, who are the main characters. It's the story of Vincent, a cop who steals from an underground dealing. The drug lord takes his kid hostage and demands him to bring the merchandise back to him. Most of the movie takes place in a club where he has to improvise and find a way to get his kid out safely. Although I have watched the original first, I still watched the Indian remake, and I have to admit I prefer the original, but I will still go see the American version Sleepless in cinema. If you love action movies with great storytelling and insane screenplay which keeps you at the edge of the seat, you'll love this movie. I cannot recommend Nuit Blanche enough. My advice, and this is very personal, if you know that the movie is a remake and you can watch the original first before watching the remake, I highly recommend it, because you want to experience the reason why the movie is being remade, what is the magic that sparked the idea for the filmmaker or the studio, or whoever is behind the remakes these days. Now, this theory of mine needs a whole new video, but I feel like a movie gets its idea or message to its audience if the director transcribed his vision to the screen as he saw it, as he enjoyed it, and lets us enjoy it in the same way without any compromise. But this doesn't happen all the time, and so that's why I recommend watching the original and then the remake. By the way, if you listen to a remix of a song and you liked it and you want to listen to the original afterwards and you find it better, do you stop listening to the remix? Just wondering. Thanks again, please like and subscribe. Until next time, this is Boris, the Movie Messenger.
So beautiful.